All right, guys, in today's video, I'm gonna replace this messed up little antenna. It's got a big ass crack in the little plastic housing right here, which is super common. I feel like 99% of the Subarus I see, especially these old GCs, got a crack in the little antenna housing right here. Plus this little thing is kind of bent. So we'll replace this little antenna mast with this factory new OEM antenna. That's part number 86321FA000.
This is my little SubaruONLY shop. It's a DIY Subaru channel. It's a channel where all I do is Subaru builds and race Subaru vehicles and motorsport events. It's a DIY themed channel where I walk you guys through the steps to get your Subarus back on the road and hopefully do a little racing of your own. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay guys, the first step is to remove those two screws on that little antenna mast. That screw right there, it's like a little safety screw, but you can use a flat blade screwdriver, and that screw right there. Pull both these screws out, and then you can kind of just pop this sucker out and slide it out. And that's what those little screws look like. Small little diameter machine screws. So take both of those out. So basically you just kind of pop it out and then slide it kind of back and out. It's got kind of this like angular design to it, so it's got to come out at an angle and towards the back. And then you kind of slide this out and then go ahead and pull it up and out all the way. I've already disconnected the bottom. As a matter of fact, mine was already cut. That's the way this car actually came from the previous owner. So they had actually cut the antenna because they were turning this car into a rally car. I'm sure eventually they're gonna pull this out, or maybe they were just gonna leave it like that. Obviously, this antenna wasn't gonna work with any radio I'm putting in. All right, then go ahead and open the package and get this new one pulled out. Okay, as you can see, you can have quite a long little wire lead for your radio. So that's got to weave all the way down this front A-pillar and underneath your dash to the center part where your radio and your center console is in your front dash. So put that down the little slot and just kind of weave it down. There shouldn't be many obstructions to it. It should be able to slide straight down as long as everything else in your car is pretty much OEM. As you can see, mine's going down pretty easy. Okay, now I've hit a little obstruction. It's probably because the tip of the plug is just hitting something at the bottom. So I should be able to get down the bottom, find that little plug, pull it through, and then continue this cord through until I get all the way to the point where I can slide this piece in and screw it in. Okay guys, let's see if we can fish that end of the plug out from in here. Kind of, this is a little recessed pocket. And sure enough, here's that plug right here. So we'll go ahead and pull this sucker down, and I'll slowly pull this plug down and then work the antenna mast down until it's snug and fit on the body on the roof. So we'll just kind of go back and forth, right? Like this. And then go down here and pull it out a little bit more. If you had two people, this would obviously be a little bit easier. And then of course you gotta get that plastic sheath in as well. That's where it gets a little bit tighter, and you gotta make sure that this thing's lined up correctly. So it's gonna go in kind of like this with the mast pulling out the top right here. So make sure it's all lined up correctly with that white sheath, plastic housing above the little black piece. And then start feeding it down like that. You gotta feed them down together. So you gotta have to pull this cord down at the bottom again and keep it nice and tight down here and keep going back and forth. All right, I'm gonna set the camera up on the tripod, I think, because, oh no, I think I can do it with one hand. If I can do this with one hand, guys, while I'm holding the camera, you guys can do it with two hands, right? Just keep feeding this thing down, and then pulling the sucker out, and then feeding this thing down, and then pulling the sucker out. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat Jackson, but he is once again wanting to come hang out and play in the garage with me. All right, and there you kind of line it up. Get the holes kind of lined up a little further down. So we'll go ahead and put both of those factory screws back in, and then make sure this thing is nice and tight at the bottom. It is. And I'll go ahead and end up weaving this little plug through some of the upper kind of wiring harness little loops underneath the front dash. And I'll just kind of have it here ready to go when it's ready to be plugged into that factory OEM stereo. All right, we'll go ahead and get these screws reinstalled. Of course, that plastic sheath, guys, that white plastic sheath, that plastic sheath is what's for the this little antenna mast you pull out and push back in. Just want to get this thing kind of lined up real good so that these screws go in straight. there you go, guys. This thing should slide out. Yep. Bam. And that, guys, is my brand new factory OEM antenna mast. Much big improvement over that old one with a huge crack right down the body. And I know a lot of you guys out there with these first-gen Imprezas definitely have one of these little masts with a crack in it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick DIY for swapping out that old cracked antenna mast for this brand new factory OEM one. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there for today. I hope you enjoyed this quick DIY video for replacing your antenna mast on your Subaru Impreza. This should apply to all 1993 through 2001 Subaru Imprezas. Doesn't matter what body style you have, hatchback, sedan, or coupe, this will be the same antenna mast for your Subaru. Thanks again for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or any comments, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section. If you guys need any tools or any parts or any maintenance items for your Subaru, make sure you check out my SubaruONLY Amazon store, and you can find the link in the description below. Thanks again for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. My name's Luke. You guys have been watching the SubaruONLY channel. Until next time, guys, later! Thanks again for watching this video, guys. As you guys know, I'm a diehard Subaru enthusiast. And I've also had the opportunity to be involved in motorsports for over 2 decades now. But I'm also a professional hydrogeologist, and I've actually spent years in laboratories performing experiments where I studied the flow of fluids using the properties of physics and fluid mechanics. In these YouTube videos, I'm actually able to combine my experience from the laboratories and all the research I've done with my experience from all the motorsport series I've been involved in and my passion for Subarus. If you have any professional inquiries about Subaru-related R&D or digital marketing and media, you can contact me at SubaruONLYshop@gmail.com. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope to hear from you soon.